Hokkaido Gals is not an anime I expected to enjoy as much as I did today, and I think after watching this brief little opening sequence, I think you might have an interest for watching this show now too. But that being said, let's talk about if this is even worth your time. Is Hokkaido Gals are super adorable, something that you should dedicate a portion of your Monday to every single week? Is the story good? Is the characters good? Is the art good? Animation. Is it something that would, warrant any form of attention, so to speak? And so, let's just dive headfirst into that. So, the story begins where our main male character is someone that is moving in to Hokkaido from Tokyo. So, he moved from a big city to a small city, and he feels very out of place. He's basically someone that's a city boy becoming a country bumpkin. And he feels like he doesn't know what to expect, he doesn't know what to do, and he's very out of his field, his area, so to speak, of what he's actually used to. And upon waiting to figure out how he can get to his next destination, he happens to meet a very beautiful girl called Fuyuki, which is our main female character. She is someone that is clearly dressed not for the occasion, and the reason for that is because she is a gao or gairu, which is kind of like a subgenre of like romance, slice of life stories and all that. It's basically just where you have these very cutesy, trendy female characters and all that. Think of, like, My Dress-Up Darling to a degree. Is Nagatoro a gal series? Is that? I don't know if that one is. But basically, it's just kind of like where you have a cutesy female lead, and they speak more modern, so to speak. And you have her entire design just fully on display here, and it's very cute. You get a lot about her character just from this brief little interaction, that she is a very forward person, and she just says it like it is. For instance, when she's talking with the main male character here, eventually she gets so cold, she literally starts to, like, wrap her arm around him and all that, and it's just like, holy crap, she's a very forward person, she doesn't care and all that. And the reason why she wrapped her arm around him is because she was cold. She's like, my hands are cold, is it okay, and all that, and she's sitting there on her phone, browsing her phone while she's warming up her body next to him. And it's like, wow, this is like the first 5 to 6 minutes of the show, and she's already doing this. It's like, very forward character. But as things continue, you find out basically that she is someone that goes to the same school as our main male character. Figures, that's the typical story and canvas of these type of, anime. But anyways, they're going to the same school. And obviously our main male character, he's the new kid. He is a guy that's completely out of his element. He doesn't know what to expect. And so she is someone you could assume in class might be the outcast as well, because she is the Gairu character. Usually in these type of stories, the Gairu characters are the outcasts. They're characters that are the standouts, or maybe even called the class clown to a degree. I've seen manga do that. So it's just like, clearly he's going to be hanging out with someone that might not be the most popular girl in the school, but there is occasions that she could be. There is definitely a lot of series like that too. So at this time, you're questioning what's going to happen between these two characters. So as the story progresses, we have this whole little meeting in the school to where our main male character and main female character sit side by side in the back of the class. Who figures? We all knew this was going to happen. This is once again a traditional story beat. However, what did catch me by surprise is that the main characters are not sitting by the window. I want to point that out. Like, that is, they just broke the unspoken rule of anime by having the main male character and main female character not sitting next to the window to look out of it. And I'm just like, huh? Now, I guess the reason why this is the case is because Hokkaido is very cold. Like, this episode tries to present that there is a very cold atmosphere here, and that, the students within the class, they have to wear blankets and all that, jackets to stay warm, and so potentially sitting by the window might not be a good idea, because it could potentially be very cold, and so sitting by the window just is not a good idea. There could be a draft or something. So I might be thinking about this too deep, like too far into it, but, it's a potential possibility. Regardless, though, I am a little bit surprised that the series didn't have our main character sit next to the window, because it's just such a common cliche that every anime does. It's shocking to see a series that starts off very similar to the normal tropes and cliches do something just so different with this. Anyways, with that being said, we also move on to where they're walking home together. And eventually, Fuyuki, she's like, you want to come to my house tomorrow since we're off of school and all that. And it's a very interesting moment because we get to see a different side of her character because she's always this very forward character, as I've already kind of explained. But in this moment, she gets very cutesy, shy, and all that. And it shows that she is very self-conscious about what she's saying, but she still wants to do it. And so it's just like, oh, this is kind of adorable. This is cute. And it just perfectly flows with her character, having that other side to her. She's not always just a forward character, so there is some depth to her. She's not just like a very shallow character, so to speak. So we move onward, and, the main male character, he goes to her house and all that. Her parents aren't there, typical, and, they're sitting down to watch a movie. She puts her foot on him and all of that, and it's just very clear that she just is having a good time. He's having a good time. They're watching a movie together, and she passes out on the couch while they're mid-watch, and this very sequence is funny because obviously there's things that happen on the TV or, on the movie that, two people around their age, watching would lead to some complicated feelings between the two potentially blossoming. So when that happens, it's very funny. It's a comedic scene, and the MC is just like, oh, no way, this is popping up. He gets a little bit self-conscious, but he finds out that she's asleep, and, he walks out, and, she chases after him, like, oh, I'm sorry for falling asleep and all that, and you can see that there is some romantic feelings kind of forming within the first episode. It's very sweet, very cute, and I think that anyone that watched this series is going to be left with a very comfy vibe after watching it, which is exactly what I think this series is trying to do. So, nothing negative whatsoever. So, yeah, that's pretty much a brief summary of the first episode. It's good, comfy. But, is there any bad? Is there anything else to it? Now, in terms of actual negatives, I would say that the only thing that really stood out to me, if I'm not kind of critiquing the cliche, tropey nature of it, because, this is the first episode, and we got to see how it really expands and forms from here on out, I would say the only negative I could really point out is actually, like, the translations, this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I mentioned this briefly on social media, and I want to talk about this a little bit more in depth to get some clarity here for those that didn't fully understand what I was talking about. Basically, I know this is a gal series, and at the end of the day, we have a Garu/gal character that's supposed to speak trendy, modern, so to speak. She has to speak like that. And even if it isn't a complete accurate translation from Japan, it does make sense, and there is a little leeway that could be made there, because it does fit in line with what the story is trying to present. Now, regardless of that, rabbit hole, the point I'm getting at is that this is the main male character saying this. My first name's so whack. This is so whack. She's whacking down my boundaries. This is a very weird translation because it feels like the English translator just wanted to make a pun with whack. And it doesn't feel like this is exactly what the main male character said actually in the real story. It just feels like the translator threw this in to make a brief pun with the MC, and it doesn't work, because the entire episode, the MC doesn't make any jokes like this. He doesn't do this at all, and it feels very out of character, because he's like a city boy coming to the countryside that feels very out of place, and I mean, you might say that maybe this fits because it is out of place, but that's not what his character is. It's very clear that he's a short-laced character, or a straight-laced character, that, doesn't really say many jokes. He's just, that's how he is. So, I don't know, this feels very out of place, and this feels like editor/translation meddling, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, obviously, this is on Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll is, as of late, for the past few weeks, there's been a lot of drama about localization and translations and stuff in dubs, and this potentially could be another example of that. Regardless, though, I just wanted to mention that, because I know that there's going to be some that are curious about it, so, yeah, there's clarification on that. I feel like this translation feels very out of character for the MC. It's fine for the main female character to do it, but I don't know, the main male character just doesn't make any sense to me. But, yeah, I guess that's the first episode of Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. If you enjoyed the series and you want to watch it for yourself, check it out. It's pretty enjoyable. I liked it. I mean, I don't think it's anything revolutionary or mind-blowing, but it is a nice Monday series to really just finish off your day with. So, yeah, anyways, you all be safe. If you enjoyed the episode, leave me a like. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like as well. Chibi out.